Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 44 of the Local to Global here with Canadian Wrestling Coalition. Now, of course, as you can tell by the title, this episode we are essentially saying goodbye to ONDEM. As you can see, our broadcasting deal with ONDEM is in its final month. So, by the end of this episode, we will essentially skip forward one day into November. We will set up our pay-per-view broadcasting deal with medium coverage in Canada. I feel like it could essentially be a bit of a game changer. I've talked about it, and it's kind of been our goal for quite some time now. And hopefully it will have the desired effect that I want it to in regards to our finances. Obviously, going on to a pay-per-view broadcaster, it only has coverage in Canada. So we are essentially, we're getting a higher broadcasting coverage for more money as well. But then again, we're also losing what is essentially our worldwide coverage that we currently have. Obviously, ONDEM is a little bit weird. It's got tiny coverage in a few regions around the world, and then small, and even very small, I think, in Europe as well. But you know what? It's fine. We need to make the step up. If we want to try and compete with the big boys, we've got to get a pay-per-view deal, and we'll be able to challenge CWA going forward. Just a quick little recap: we are 77 popularity there in Ontario, 59 in Quebec, 57 in Manitoba. Of course, we do have the 35 there in Alberta, which we actually got 2 episodes ago. Yeah, not last episode, but the episode before that. Anyway, so the game plan for this episode, obviously, we've just got the go home show. And of course, the pay-per-view there as well, which I am really looking forward to. We are going to have a very solid main event. And I'm not too sure how aligned things will go. But obviously, we've got other matches like Princeton Price taking on Matt Hocking. I've got a really good storyline plan for Matt Hocking going forward as well. But obviously, because him and Princeton have just both come to the company, I feel like it's pretty perfect just to chuck them together in a pay-per-view match and see what happens, essentially, because they're both extremely good workers, but they're both lacking a little bit of popularity. And I think we kind of saw that in the end of last episode when we had the GOAT, Davis Wayne Newton, take on Princeton. It was only rated an 80. It's still a really good main event, and considering he's only got, like 60 popularity or something, it's still pretty decent, but once we can get them to like 75 pop, both Hocking and Price, I mean, the main event's set alight, basically. We'll have, I guess, 5 or 6 really strong main eventers. Top guys that will be able to put against Davis, or potentially Mobstar as well, if Mobstar does eventually become the unified world champion. Of course, this main event, I don't want to give it away because we've got a little bit of a storyline to continue with regarding who's going to become the number 1 contender. And that'll play out on this final go-home show as well. Of course, we've only got one more day left to proceed through. We'll be on the Wednesday, and we'll get into Coalition Wrestling. As you can tell, I'm really upbeat, really happy that we are, finally achieving our goal, essentially, that we have worked pretty hard towards, I would say. We are 77 popularity in Ontario. We've only just gotten up to 35 in Alberta. I mean, we even tried to run a couple of TV shows there. That didn't really go too well. I was kind of expecting them, especially with free tickets as well. I just felt like it would be almost a little bit easier. Anyway, we've got a few interesting things happening here. We've got CWA going in for Gargantuan, which I think is an interesting signing. I kind of thought about signing him myself, but as you can see, he's 38 years old. He's also only got 65 stamina, but he is a beast, let's be real. 100 menace, got 92 star quality as well. It's an absolute monster, to be fair. Canadian powerhouse. I'm pretty sure he used to work for, CGC. And as you can see, CWA actually chose not to sign him. And then he went to Burning Hammer, which I would say is essentially a step up anyway. So you got Peter Novak or Petr Novak. Pretty sure it's like Petr in Petr Cech, the former Arsenal and Chelsea goalkeeper. If you're into soccer or football. We've got Roderick Remus. I don't mind Roderick. I think he's okay, especially he actually looks really good in this long-term save as well. He's not really too injury prone. He's had one injury. I don't know. I kind of just feel like I really want to now. We've gotten some really good signings in. His star quality is kind of average at like 60 or whatever. And I kind of just want to wait for that big signing that we can really, challenge for now that we have the pay-per-view deal. Guys, I've mentioned him before. Casey Glenn is the guy that I'm really going to go hard. We're going to play hardball for him once his contract is up. We've got Maverick here as well, who is Canadian, so that's interesting. But again, I'm not really that interested. He's only got 50 popularity, 41 years old. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about bringing in the what are they called? Oh, never mind. I thought it was is it Samoan Death Squad or something like that? I thought Ciale was a part of it, but I guess not. Yeah, don't really know why I was looking at him. He's definitely not the person that I thought he was. I think it's like Samoan Machine and someone else. Anyway, get into the TV show, the Go Home show. Who's absent? Just Mutant and Blackfry. So Hocking is actually here now. Interesting. We also got Papa Swole improving the mood of the locker room, setting up a waffle bar. I mean, he looks like he would set up a waffle bar. Looks like a big lad. Anyway, let's do some more meddling. Of course, we've only got the one left, which is pretty funny. Davis and Kavanagh. Of course, Kavanagh essentially injuring Davis and essentially causing himself to become a jobber. Well, a jobber down the line. Anyway, we are once again going to go to Ottawa, which is where I like to run the Go Home show. And of course, we run the pay-per-views in Toronto, as it is capital kind of our region, I would say. Actually, is Toronto the capital of Canada? Usually, I think I'm pretty good with geography. I feel like I want to say it is. I want to say Toronto is the capital, but I'm going to go with the capital. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be frustrated. Actually, let me look it up. So capital of Canada. Please be Toronto. Otherwise, I look like a massive... Okay, I look like a massive idiot. It is apparently Ottawa. Which is also in our region. It's where we're having tonight's show. Interesting. I mean, I would say most people would probably think that it would be Toronto. I don't really hear much from Ottawa. Anyway, credit where it's due, I guess. Like I said, I look like an absolute idiot anyway, which is probably the case most of the time, so I don't really care. Anyway, let's get back to booking. So, I'm not sure what the main event is. I do have a few other matches planned in my head. It's just the main event that is almost escaping me. I really just don't know what to do. Actually, yes, I do. What am I talking about? It's the triple threat rematch between Mobstar, Diaz, and Ozzy Goldstein. I was looking for his name there. I just couldn't find it. Yeah, so I think we'll just give that one 20 minutes. And once again, there is going to be no #1 contender. It is going to finish a draw yet again. A decisive finish. Part of me kind of wants to put Davis onto color commentary, but I'm not going to because I feel like it potentially could lower a pretty good rated match, in my opinion. Anyway, up next, we are going to go with... Who was it? I was going to go John Greed taking on Stan Manor, just to sort of continue this storyline. I don't think we need to... Let's have maybe like a botched interference on Stan. I like that. So botched interference. Maybe let's make that the finish as well, actually. So Stan will be botched onto by Rock and Ryan Turner, of course his tag team partner. And that'll essentially be the cause of the match. I like that match. I feel like that one's just kind of an interesting one to continue on this same storyline. As far as tag team matches go, let's go a match for the Moneymakers, but I don't think we want it to be against anyone too good. So maybe we actually go Doomsday Generation. Of course, they can essentially take a loss because Lester is leaving. And obviously, Sinner is kind of going to go to the wayside a little bit in regards to the stable. He'll still be around, but he's definitely going to take a big back seat as the stable turns out to be our best, probably, in the company. Definitely can't call the match. What am I doing? Alright, so there we go. This can be storytelling as well. I'm not really too fussed about it. Alright. What is next? Let me think. I did want to give a match to Princeton, so he can have maybe just a bit of a warm-up match. I think let's put him against Zach. Hopefully Zach's not going to injure him at all. But this will just be a nice little win there for Princeton, coming off a loss on debut. And hopefully it'll just be beneficial for Jack as well. For Zach. We will use Jack on this show as well. I think we'll put him and Christy together. So let's go with... Yeah, let's do this. So let's have the crew take on Jack Jackson and Cooper Christie. I think that's a good match. Like I said, I might think about actually giving Papa Swole a title shot. Sort of undecided a little bit. I guess we can maybe see how many matches we actually have on the card for the pay-per-view itself. So we're going to have quite a few sort of high-profile matches. So some people will have to miss out, unfortunately. I think we have room for maybe one more match, but let me just do some angles first. So once again, I think we're just going to stick with the Diaz, Mobstar, and Ozzy Goldstein angle together. I think this time I want to script them, because I think somebody last time didn't have too much success. So we'll go this way. That'll be pre-main event. And then I think what I want to do is have a post-main event angle with Davis on entertainment. And something pretty interesting is going to happen. He's literally going to be attacked by all three members. So let's do fighting for all these guys. So Davis is essentially going to come out and talk a bit of smack about these four guys. And they're all going to team up and take him out. And of course, as you can probably tell, something interesting is going to happen at the pay-per-view. We are indeed going to have a fatal four-way match for the Unified World title. And there's a pretty high chance, well, it's essentially a 25% chance that one of these men could become, or stay, the Unified World Champion. Anyway, let's go an angle for John Greed, Jackpot Jordan, and Stephen Parker. It's got to be really careful. Make sure I use the right Jack for these angles. And again, because it's three people, I think we're just better off scripting. I think when it's maybe a tag team or even solo definitely, but I think for anything over two men, you kind of want to script your angles. There's just sort of like a high percentage that one of them can go bad. That's just what I've sort of noticed while playing. What am I looking at? Formation of Walsh. Okay, so that'll go before their match. I then want to have a Maddie Faith angle, I think just with Stan and Rock and Ryan Turner. And we'll just go these three on entertainment as well. Just really building towards this match, or the two matches at the pay-per-view, I should say. Of course, we've got Greed taking on Faith. And then we have the Moneymakers taking on the Rock City Stars as well. What are we going? We're going Faith No More. And like I said, over the last few episodes, Maddie Faith has massively impressed me. And he's going to be the person that's going into a pretty high-profile storyline next month. What else? So let's go Princeton Price. Good old Princeton, new signing. Impressive signing as well. But he was kind of overshadowed, I guess is the proper term. Because we were trying to sign Hollywood Brett Starr. And he was kind of the backup that I didn't actually really want to sign. And of course our bid failed. And we were essentially left with him. I have to say, it's a pretty good signing to be left with. I guess to start the show off, let's just go with Lucinda Lush, Cooper Christie, and Jack Jackson. I kind of see Jack Jackson as a bit of a Hangman Page. Kind of off doing his own thing. Loose as all hell, to be honest. Smoking, drinking whenever he wants. At least on camera anyway. Like, he might not actually drink. Well, you would hope he wouldn't, but he apparently does smoke. Yeah, the new boys. Alright, so I think overall that show is looking pretty good. We will do a little pre-show match here. Just maybe a big six-man. I have Davis, Zeus. And who else can go with them? Go Hawking, just to give him a little bit of momentum. He obviously has neutral momentum, hasn't actually debuted. And they can take on Hammond, Brody, and Kavanaugh. And I don't see why not. I mean, we can pretty much give this like 20 minutes, but we'll give it 16. How about that? The proper pre-show match. I'll try and make the loser Mighty Kavanaugh. Probably not going to accept it, so we might have to change that a little bit. Let's have a look. Yeah. Typical Kavanaugh, eh? I mean, Doc's retiring anyway. Really not too fussed with him losing any matches anymore. Alright, that looks pretty good. Obviously, this 3 versus 3 should be on the main show, but I want to focus on storylines. I want to focus on pushing some of these younger guys as well. Obviously, a lot of the guys in that match are quite old, so it's pretty fitting. Anyway, we run the show. We start off with a 75 rated 6-man tag on the pre-show. We have the debut of Matt Hocking, and he teams up with the Golden Goats to defeat Doc Hammond, Giant Brody, and Mighty Kavanaugh in 15:32, when Matt Hocking pinned Doc Hammond with a Hock Shock, and of course Davis head and shoulders above everybody else. We got Hocking debuting his Too Pretty gimmick, getting an initial rating of very good as well. Got to put his manager with him. I think it's Huggins, isn't it? Yeah. That's not too good, though. I mean, the swagger gimmicks always seem to have real bad penalties. I know they're only small, but it always seems to be swagger for some reason. Anyway, we have a small penalty to psychology and a small penalty to charisma during matches and angles. Frustrating. But happy it's very good, because obviously it could have gone very bad. Anyway, we kick the show off itself with a 55 rated angle from the New Boys. Of course, what did I call them? The Frat Pack or something like that. Not sure if we're going to stick with that name, but it's kind of their unofficial name, if you will. And of course, we've got Lucinda Lush, the beautiful Lucinda Lush, along with her client Cooper Christie. And then you got Jack Jackson kind of just being himself, smoking and drinking, not really caring, and just wants to get the business done so he can go back to partying. Go into their tag match, which gets a 58, where we have Jack Jackson and Cooper Christie defeating the Crew 12-12 when Cooper Christie pinned Public Enemy with a top rope elbow drop. Good match. We've got a 50 in ring for Jack, 58 there for Cooper, and a pretty solid 54 for Papa. So all in all, it's a pretty solid mid-card match. It's just about average. About average. All right, we then move into a 63 rated angle from Princeton Price. Looking okay, like nothing special as of yet, but like I said, we need to raise his popularity before he starts to reach the higher ratings, if you will. His match also getting a 63, same as his angle. And we have Princeton Price defeating Zach Powerson in 11:57 by submission. And a pretty solid 67 in ring there from Princeton Price as well. I'm happy with that. Getting a 63 out of Zach is a decent carry. Alright, we then move into a 3-man angle from Wall Street Enterprises, getting an 81 here. So, John Greed, Jackpot Jordan, doing some good work still. Obviously, Steven seems to be the straggler, if you will. He's still good, but he doesn't seem to be, or he doesn't seem to want to get as over as Jackpot and Greed. Seems interesting, but it is what it is. Their match, the Moneymakers match, getting a 68. Pulling a 68 out of Doomsday Generation. And of course, the Moneymakers do defeat Doomsday Generation in 11:32 when Jackpot Jordan pinned Original Sinner with a Make It Rain. Yeah, just a really good match. Jackpot getting a solid 70 in ring as well. And once again, getting the Tag Team Specialist bonus. So, quite impressive from Jackpot especially. Alright, we then go into their sort of stable rivals at the moment. Got the stable of Faith No More, getting a 70 rated angle here, with Maddie Faith, Stan Manor, and Rock and Ryan Turner. Of course, Charlie Corner, I mean, he wasn't actually in the angle, but he still helped Maddie Faith as his manager. We then have John Greed taking on Stan Manor, of course, stable versus stable. Pretty good rating as well. We get a 75 rated match. Is much higher than their in-ring performances. We have John Greed defeating Stan Manor in 12:10 by pinfall with a crash diet following a botched interference from Rock and Ryan Turner. So tag team partner backfiring there. Tried to get involved in the match to help Stan out and ended up clocking him over the head and essentially costing him the match. So sucks to be Stan, your own tag team partners, making you lose a singles match. But John Greed, he'll take those all day long. And he had a 66 in-ring, and then we had Stan with a 64. So very close. As you can see, it looks like it was well booked as well. Getting a 75. About 9 points higher than the highest in-ring. Alright, we then go into the pre-main event angle. Does pretty well, getting an 84, 1 point away from the blue text there for our rating. And of course, it's once again Diaz, Mobstar, and Goldstein just going at it back and forth. They did it, I think, on the first show of the month, first TV show. And of course, the triple threat match ended a draw. And our main event here also getting an 80, so about the same, well, it is literally the same as our last TV show on last episode. And we do have James Diaz drawing again with Mobstar and Ozzy Goldstein in 20 minutes flat. And the referee was once again forced to rule a no contest when all hell broke loose. So once again, we have failed to sustain a number one contender. We have no clear winner, and as such, you can expect Davis to be pretty upset, pretty angry. Anyway, this is a pretty good match. I kind of expected it maybe to be a little bit better, maybe like an 84 or something, but we'll take an 80. Got a 74 in-ring from Diaz, we've got an 85 from Mobster, and a solid 84 there as well from Goldstein. So some good matches. I mean, Goldstein versus Mobstar would be what seems like it would be a quality match. So we might have to do that one in the future. And of course, our post-main event angle getting us an 82 here. We have Davis come out to the ring following the match. And of course, he's complaining. Basically says that he refuses to defend his title in a fatal four-way match, which kind of has been announced and put over by the announcers. And yeah, basically Diaz, Mobstar, Goldstein, they just attack him. Tries to run away. Diaz is already behind him. Runs into the big young lad. And then Mobstar and Goldstein look at each other, and then they just run straight at Davis and beat him down. Leave him looking pretty weak going into the pay-per-view. Anyway, we finished the show with an 80 overall rating, so it's about the same as what we've sort of been getting recently. I would say it's okay. I mean, it's nothing special. I don't think we actually get any popularity increase in Ontario, which is fine because we're literally already at 77, which is what we need in that region, or in the 5 regions across Canada, to go up to large size, which is, of course, our next goal. Is it large or big? I think it's big. I think it goes big first. Ooh, there we go. Alton Vicious. He has indeed left. I really do like the look of Alton Vicious. I think his tag team partner, Riddick Jordan, is actually better. So, I might take a look. Anyway, we got 423,000 viewers there for Coalition Wrestling. Let me just take a look at Riddick. He's probably with 21CW. I would assume so. I do RID. He might be going under a different name. Let me go back. And it's supposed to be Riddick Jordan, but... Oh, I know why. I feel like an idiot yet again in the same episode. Had special settings put in there. Anyway. Now we can find him. There we go. He's also with SNP. And as you can see, he is quite a bit better. I mean, they're pretty much the same. But he is just that little bit better. Let's ask him. I mean, can't hurt. There we go. He's active in the area. So we could essentially sign them. The Northern Lights. We could get both of them in. Have 2 solid Englishmen come in. I don't think we have any other Englishmen on our roster. Of course, we have Graham Gorman, who's from Northern Ireland, but yeah, I think these 2 would be our first Englishmen. Would be pretty cool. Get a weight gain as well. A ripped light heavyweight. Interesting. He only gained 3 points of star quality, though. Seems pretty low. Anyway, he does look solid. I think they both look solid enough. I want to bring him in. I was going to put them in the crew, but now that I think about it, they might be like the perfect anti-crew, if you will. Yeah. I think we're going to sign them. They're only 32, so it's really not too bad. And I think if we get them for maybe 6 years, they'll be 38. Like, I'm not really too worried about negotiations because realistically, they're not going to become main eventers. That's pretty certain. There's Riddick Jordan. Then we'll go back and we'll grab Alton Vicious here as well. Imagine if he rejects it. Yeah. I was going to say that would be pretty funny, but it would actually be pretty frustrating as well. Alright, so there's his contract as well. Probably going to want about the same. Oh, 3 years. I don't want to do 3. Let's go 8 years. Did I do 8 or did I do 6? Did 6, didn't I? Yeah, so he wants the same. 12,500. Pretty cheap when you think about it. I mean, it's only, what, 25,000 for a pretty solid tag team. I know they have 0 popularity because of regions and all that type of stuff, but they're pretty well quality. And I wonder if they have any type of tag team specialist bonus as well. They're at 81 experience, so really not going to take too long. Yeah, tag team specialists. So they will get a slight bonus for their tag team matches. I feel like they could really set our tag team division alight, which I would enjoy thoroughly. So yeah, once again, Catherine Huggins. Laura Catherine Huggins needs to be Hocking's manager. Add that there. Manager, Laura. Save, there we go, perfect. They are still in a relationship, yes? Yes, okay. That would have been awkward if they weren't. Anything else? When do we get Aldous? That's a good question. 6 days. Which is the next episode, potentially. I don't know if he should come in time for that. Because we have to go forward 2 days anyway. So yeah, that'll be in 4 days or 3 days. 4 days. It'll be 4 days, which will be next episode. So episode 45. We essentially have the biggest debut of the series so far. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, Aldous Blackfriars pay-per-view debut will literally be on a pay-per-view broadcaster, which I also find pretty damn cool. Anyway, I feel like this pay-per-view itself is going to be really good. We have some high-quality matches. Maddie Faith, John Greed, Matt Hocking, Princeton Price, and of course the Fatal 4-Way match as well. Alright, there's Alton Vicious. He'll actually come straight in. I didn't think about that. But yeah, he comes straight in there. You got Masked Patriot there. I mean, Masked Patriot's super good. Would he be worth it? Probably not. Do I want to sign him? He's confirmed to be leaving. Interesting. Ooh, SNP offered a contract. Oh. Exclusive handshake. Alright, never mind. Thought they were going to offer him another proper contract as well. Sarah Marie York. Current women's champion, of course. We're not really focusing on women on this series because of Valkyrie Pro Wrestling, of course. Make sure you go and check that out. The series is starting to heat up a little bit, so if you're kind of only a fan of the local to global, I would recommend going and checking that out now. It's up to you if you want to start the series from the beginning. But at the moment, we are really starting to take shape. And I think the next episode is a really good one. We've signed a lot of really decent workers. And there are some more that are actually available. So anyway, we've got Doc Hammond here passing on some tips on using psychology to his protege, Chip Martin. Of course, the man that is never used. Anyway, once again, let's do some more meddling here. I just love doing this for some reason. Just almost in the hope that it will go bad and backfire. Anyway. Once again, going to go to Toronto. Expecting 44,653 fans. Big stuff. Alright, so main event time. I might actually black this one out. I'm going to jump over to a black screen here. I'll do it really quickly, so you guys... I'll talk while I'm doing it as well. But here we go for the black screen. Alright, so hopefully you can't see anything now. And I'm going to book the main event. Now you might be thinking, oh, he's obviously going to take the title off of Davis. But I think from now on, I want to book pay-per-view main events with a black screen. Just so it gives you guys a little bit of surprise, something to look forward to. And hopefully you guys are alright with it. Let me know what you think. If you want the main events of the pay-per-views to be a surprise, just say that you enjoy, I don't know, if you enjoy the black screens while I book the main event. And like I said, I mean, I could be taking the title off of Davis, but I probably wouldn't, as you can imagine. All right, so I think that's the match. I think I'm going to give it 30 minutes as well. And there we go. All right, so we're back. Main event is booked. Everything else doesn't really matter too much. I mean, there's not a whole big element of surprise. We'll also give Alton Vicious a pre-show match as well. Good for him. So up next, let's go for... I guess we'll just go for John Greed and Maddie Faith. If I can get my clicks properly, there we go. Alright, we'll give this one 20. I mean, we're not going to probably have all that many matches, really. Because we are going to have some long ones. I guess I need to kind of think about cooldown matches as well. I think I wanted to have a cooldown match prior to the main event and then have an angle following it. So I might go for a Davis angle after our cooldown match, if that makes sense. Anyway, up next, we are going to have the Rock City Stars take on the Moneymakers. Big tag team match. I kind of want to give it 20 minutes, to be fair. That's because it is literally a stable match. Like, it's a proper tag team match. I mean, even these guys, they've been involved in a separate storyline even prior to the sort of stable warfare as well. Alright, what else have we got? We got Princeton Price and Matt Hocking. Let's get this one in here as well. This one, I think, has to kind of go one way, to be honest. It kind of sucks for Hocking, but I don't think Princeton deserves a loss. He's got 10 or 11 more popularity. He's also like 6 years younger. 6 or 8? 6. So yeah, I mean, straight up, Princeton has... While I think Hocking is better in the ring, I just think that Princeton will be better off in the long run if we push him that little bit harder, especially from the start. Because he already does have higher popularity, like I already said. Anyway. What else are we doing? So I think we need some sort of cooldown match. Now I think for the cooldown match, we might just go for the Crew taking on Zach and Jack. And we'll just give that 12 minutes. Calm the crowd. Like, we're literally going to calm the crowd. And then I think we'll give the victory to Papa Swole. I did say that Papa Swole could have potentially fought Christie. I kind of feel like that match will be too good, almost. I don't really want to put the calm the crowd match onto that type of match, if that makes sense. So we're either going to use Dace, who is the worst referee that we have, or second best, actually, if you think about it. Alright, so we're at 113. I think we can have maybe 1 or 2 more matches. But what storylines do we really have going at the moment? Oh, I nearly forgot. I forgot to even use them on the last show. Got our big blow-off match between Gary Walker. Completely forgot. Gary and Zippy. I mean, to be fair, they didn't really need to feature. We kind of already know how the storyline's gone so far. I mean, it is really unlucky for Zippy because, you know, he kind of came a bit of a long way, really, in that tag team. And I feel like Gary Walker was predominantly held down by him, so it wasn't great for Gary. I might actually talk to Gary again and ask him to go up in size. He's only a middleweight, and I'd like him to go up to light heavy. Just he doesn't want to change his size. Yeah, he literally just doesn't want to do anything. It's frustrating. But at the same time, I mean, I guess I can understand it. Not really. I mean, if he goes up in size, I'll probably push him harder, but each to their own. What else have we got? almost feel like giving a match to Wicked Leicester. Who else have we got left on the roster? Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go Young and Wasted taking on Doomsday Generation for the tag team titles, and this will be the final send off for Leicester, really. And then of course we're gonna kick off an interesting storyline, starting off next month with Aldous and Mutant, hopefully as well. Probably should select a winner there. Go for Taylor. And this can be our storytelling match as well. Yeah, like I said, tag titles should be on the line. Of course, these two teams, they've gone at it quite a lot throughout their history. Anyway, up next, let's go for Davis. Go for that angle prior to the main event. Hopefully this will bring back the crowd for the main event. Should do. And then hopefully, I really want that main event to do better than I hope. A 90 and above would be ideal. But Diaz is lacking a little bit of popularity compared to everybody else. And he's also a little bit worse than everybody else as well, to be fair. But he is only young, so I'm not trying to knock him by saying that. Anyway, let's go for Matty Faith. Entertainment angle by himself. Gilmore. That's fine. Let's go for the Moneymakers. I think they deserve it. We'll go back and forth with our angles there. So essentially give one to Faith No More, and we'll give one to Wall Street Enterprises as well. I think that's fair. Fair. Obviously Princeton Price. I'm gonna go with him again. Actually, let's go both of them. Let's go Princeton and Matt Hocking. Of course, they're not going to have a storyline together anyway. Not yet. It's kind of just a thrown together match. Just because they both are new. They have nothing to do. And then I think let's just kick things off with a Gary Walker angle. Of course, he's got the excellent entertainment skills. So what is our problem here? All right, Edmonton. Angry Gilmore. Angry's already there. Angry's already there. What about this match? Angry's already on it as well. All right, RM Stones. Guess this match can be Dace as well. And still has too much to do. I mean, I don't really want to ruin any of these other really good matches we have, so it can just go on those ones, to be fair. Alright, so other matches. Let's go that singles match. Yeah, let's go Bowden. Bowden and Alton Vicious. Bowden's our resident jobber anyway, so... Actually, if we don't use Kavanaugh, we don't have to pay him. So let's not pay Kavanaugh, he doesn't deserve any type of money. And of course, Alton Vicious is going to kick things off with a nice little victory for himself there, and I think we can actually call the match. I think Alton has 67 psychology, yeah. Works out pretty well. Call a basic match. Oh, okay. I thought that was... I literally thought that was the other way around. I thought Bowden Snoop had cracked his knuckles. But, yeah. Bowden was going to complain. Rightly so, I would say. Because Alton literally has zero popularity. But he's a badass mofo. Like, he is... Look at him, and look at his size. Muscular light heavyweight. I mean, he's not that big, to be fair. But he's called the Bad Man. He's a powerhouse brawler from England. So, you probably wouldn't want to mess with him, let's be real. What else have we got? Let's go a tag match. Let's go Angry. Let's go... He can team up with... I don't know, actually. Maybe Brody. Yeah, go Brody. And then the other team will go Ram and Zeus, I guess. We'll keep it at 10. We'll keep it at 10. Pretty much just for Zeus and Angry. I think we'll just give Angry the victory. Actually, no, let's give Brody the victory. Brody's been on the end of a few losses recently. Although he does have the lowest popularity in the... it doesn't matter. Whatever. That's fine. I mean, is there anyone else left, really? I mean, Cooper's left, but... let's maybe go another... Let's go a 6-man. Let's just try and get everybody on the card. At least all the important people. So, Cooper Christie team up with Willie LaRue and Yuta Osono. And they can take on Jack Pride, Marco Gonzalez, and Charlie. No, I don't really want to give Charlie another loss. Go Blue Dragon. Just a random, literally a random thrown together match. We've got sort of faces and heels here, and then we've got a face and heels here as well. So interesting little combination. We'll give the victory to, I think, Osono. I think he had a few losses against Christie recently, so. Alright, there we go. That should be it. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty much used everybody as well, which is pretty nice to see. Don't really see it all that often. Anyway, let's run the show. Interestingly, we actually kick things off with a 41 rated match. We have Alton Vicious defeating Bowden Snoop in 11:41 by pinfall with a vicious snap. And Alton actually outperformed Bowden with 0 popularity. Now that is hilarious. Of course, debuting his badass gimmick, getting an initial rating of adequate, so it's about in the the middle of the road. Not really too fussed. He is kind of the less impressive performer out of the two. I think Riddick Jordan, obviously looking at his stats, is better. Again, got a large penalty to microphone skill during angles, which is frustrating. We seem to be getting a lot of cons, which I don't like. Anyway, it's a good little win on debut, even if it is only the pre-show. Still the pre-show of the pay-per-view. Alright, we then go into a 6-man tag, getting a 56 rating. We have Cooper Christie, Willie LaRue, and Yuta Osono, beating Primetime Jack Pride, Marco Gonzalez, and Blue Dragon in 11:42 when Yuta pinned Blue Dragon with an Osono face melter. A few people, one person off their game, Jack Pride. I mean, shock horror there. But we also have Blue Dragon, who has a gimmick that is getting stale, so... Mental note. Tweak his gimmick. Blue Dragon. And then finally, we get a 75 rated pre-show match. We have Angry Gilmore and Giant Brody defeating Graham Gorman and Zeus Maximilian. 10:20 when Giant Brody pins Zeus with a single-handed chokeslam. Good match. I mean, Zeus actually got a 72, second best performer in that match. But it's good to give Brody a little bit of momentum. Alright, so then we kick things off with a 72 rated angle here from Gary Walker. Pretty impressive. I think he can do better, though, to be fair. But basically, he comes out, says, tonight is the night, we put it all to bed. You know, our friendship, our tag team, our rivalry. We're both going to move on. And, I'm going to get the victory here tonight. Prove to everybody that I deserve to be the Canadian champion. Good promo. The match is average. I thought it wouldn't do too well. It's Zippy Deverill, after all. But we get a 56 for our opening contest. And we do indeed have Gary Walker defeating Zippy Deverill in 12:04 by pinfall with a pants pull sunset flip. 55 in-ring there from Gary, so it's not terrible. It's about what you would kind of expect from one of my mid-carders. And, Zippy's just not that good, really. Plain and simple. He's got some brawling, and he's lacking psychology, and that's about it. We move on to a 65 rated tag team match. We have Young and Wasted defeating Doomsday Generation, potentially for the last time. 12:27. We had Taylor Norton pin Original Sinner with a tumbleweed splash. Young and Wasted making defense number 4 of the CWC Coalition Tag Team titles. And as, you know, keeping with tradition, Original Sinner with the weak link, and we had a decent, or somewhat decent performance out of Lester getting a 44 in-ring. And that will be his final title match of the series, unless we somehow manage to bring him back in, which would be pretty cool, you know, in a couple of years' time. All right, we then move into a 68 rated angle, so it's actually a bit better now that we've put Price and Hocking, because Price by himself is only getting like 60s. Now we've got a 68, and as you can see, Princeton clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, performed well. We have Laura's gimmick, valet gimmick, getting an initial rate of adequate as well. So, again, just run of the mill. Giving a small penalty to charisma, which is frustrating. I think if I get another user point, I'm going to use it on creativity to get the gimmicks better. Because I don't think we really need anything else. Maybe, I mean, negotiating would be pretty good, but apart from that, there's nothing else. Anyway, moving into their match, which actually does pretty well, especially considering they have negative chemistry with each other. Get a 69 rated match. We have Princeton Price defeating Matt Hocking on debut in 20 minutes 22 seconds by pinfall. Doesn't seem to have a finisher, which is interesting. They both actually got 60 in-ring performances there as well. And like I said, they don't seem to click. Made for an awkward bout, which is frustrating because they're my two sort of big signings. And they're not going to be able to have matches together. Lovely. Anyway, there's a lot more possibilities, but yeah, I guess we won't be seeing this one again. All right, we then go into an 82 rated angle from the Moneymakers. So even without John Creed, they are doing some decent work. Actually, Stephen Parker did a masterful job improvising interaction with the crowd, and we even had Jackpot improvising well. So double bonus there for the unscripted angle, which I'm pretty happy with. And Stephen, I talked a bit of smack about him in that last show, and he's potentially done better than Jackpot. All right, their match, really good match. I had a feeling, there's something in me. I felt like these two teams together are money. I mean, you throw Young and Wasted in there as well. That's a tag division right there. I mean, of course, we're only adding to it as well with our new team of Riddick and Alton. So, good stuff. We get a 79 rated match here. We have the Moneymakers defeating the Rock City Stars in 20 minutes 2 seconds. We had Stephen Parker pin Rock and Ryan Turner with a Make It Rain. Yeah, it's a good match. Really good match. And yeah, I mean, the Rock City Stars kind of looking a little bit weak at the moment. Because, of course, they were the ones that got involved in the tag team title match between the Moneymakers and Young and Wasted at the last pay-per-view, which essentially kicked off this whole triple threat. Was it last pay-per-view? I think it was the last pay-per-view. But yeah, kicking off the whole storyline, and now they've just lost, potentially going into another triple threat sort of tag team match. Want to make it a ladder match? That'd be sick. Anyway, it's a really good match, man. I'm super happy with that. All right, we then go into a 74 rated angle from Matty Faith by himself. As you can see, well, he's technically not by himself. We've got Charlie Corner helping Faith during the segment. But of course, he's essentially the only one that is talking. I mean, Charlie Corner can be over in the corner doing some manager stuff. Anyway, Faith comes out, says that he has to beat John Creed. Faith No More needs a victory tonight after losing the previous tag match. And he says that he's got to be the one to do it. He's got to lead by example, and he's got to win against the wily old veteran. Not a great match. It's average. We get a 66 rated match here. We have Matty Faith defeating John Creed in 1958 by pinfall with a leap of faith. They both got 68 in-ring performances, and the match itself is actually a little bit lower. So, what is the dirt sheet saying? Due to lack of an okay, I mean, yeah, they do have a lack of an associated storyline. That is true. Declining physical ability there for Greed, which we already knew is 43, 44. Faith penalized for inconsistency, of course. He's also still pretty young, so I mean, they're not that bad. It's kind of just I guess the storyline. I have no idea. Anyway, it's an okay match. It's kind of just bang average. Nothing to get excited about. And I kind of thought that this would be a decent match. I thought at least a 75. And we only got a 66, so a little bit disappointing. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, we then go into our Cool the Crowd match, getting a 48 rating here. We have the Crew getting a little bit of revenge onto the Frat Pack. And of course, they defeat Jack Jackson and Zach Powerson in 11:51. And Papa Swole pinned Zach Powerson with the Pounce. Yeah, it's a good match. Calm the crowd, does exactly what it needed to do. And yeah, brings the fans back down a little bit. Alrighty, here we go. The main event, or the pre-main event, bring the crowd back up. Okay, it does its job. It gets an 83 rated angle there for Davis. And of course, he says, you know, he's going to go against the odds tonight. You know, management screwed him over. They couldn't determine a proper number one contender. And he finds himself in this predicament, not by choice, but rather by fate, I guess. Anyway, he clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script there, and the segment deserved better announcing as well. And the main event, please, I really want to get a 90. I feel like it would be pretty fitting. Good way to end the episode as well. Although we're not ending yet. Of course, we've got some broadcasting negotiations to do after this pay-per-view finishes. Here we go. That's a letdown. We get an 81, which is literally only 1 point higher than the 2 previous main events on the TV shows. Anyway, we have Mobstar defeating Davis Wayne Newton, James Diaz, and Ozzy Goldstein in 29:44 when Mobstar pinned James Diaz. They flattened a DDT. Mobstar wins the CWC Unified World title. New champion, Mobstar. He's done it. Couldn't do it one-on-one, has to be said, against Davis. He lost against him last month. But now that the odds were kind of much better in his favor, he's managed to pull it off, pinning James Diaz, of course. Diaz with a big lack of sort of experience in the match. But yeah, we got Davis with a impressive 94. Mobstar with a solid 87 there as well. And basically, you know what it means. As a helicopter flies over my house. Super loud. Probably can hear it. Almost sounds like an army helicopter. Anyway, off topic. But yeah, we're going to do the rematch. Mobstar versus Davis. The GOAT versus the... I don't know. The Hitman, I guess. I kind of see Mobstar as a bit of a Hitman. Even though we didn't really run with that type of storyline. But yeah, now the roles are reversed. So Mobstar will be defending in the next pay-per-view against Davis. Looking forward to it. A lot of potential there for Davis to get the title back. Anyway, like I said, I'm disappointed. Again, it could have been the 29 minutes there. The 30-minute match. Have a look at the dirt sheet here. I mean, once again, it's... The crowd was starting to get burned out, but I did a calm the crowd match. I don't understand. Literally, we had a calm the crowd match, angle, and then the main event. I do not understand. Once again, we get a lack of heat from the associated storyline, even though... I mean, we get the double penalty again. I don't understand this this double penalty. It's a hot storyline. I don't get it. Anyway, let's finish the show. Once again, we get an 80. Not going to increase our popularity in Ontario, but I mean, it's good enough to increase it everywhere else, probably. Just frustrating, honestly. That's just a little bit frustrating. Don't really know who we need to praise here. I think I just want to praise maybe Davis. Praise our Mobstar as well. And then, yeah, we'll go Princeton. I guess he had a bit of a better performance. At least in his angle, anyway. Yeah, that double storyline penalty for our main events, it keeps happening. It keeps coming up, and I'm not sure if it's a bug or what's going on. I'll show you the storylines right now, and it's a hot story. It literally says in storylines that it is a hot storyline. As we also get the signing there of Riddick Jordan. Who's that guy? Okay, from RIPW. Never seen his name before, ever. And we've got 416,000 viewers. Nina Kasache. Of course. Oh, she's a color commentator. But she's very bad. I mean, she's also a manager. She's pretty good at managing, but no, thank you. All right, so let's have a look at the storylines here. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, the storyline is considered hot. So I don't understand. I mean, maybe because the storyline was started in November. Maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't really understand. Like, it literally says it's considered hot. But then we get a double penalty for it. Doesn't really make any sense, to be honest. Anyway. Maybe I just need to remove... I don't know, even still, I was going to say remove Davis, but I don't think that'll actually do anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird one. It really is, and it's kind of frustrating because our matches deserve to be better than that. That match should not have been an 81. It should have been at least an 85. And like I said, I was kind of almost... I wasn't expecting, but I was hopeful that it would hit a 90. Anyway, it might have been the match length as well. I mean, that's my fault for trying 30 minutes. 25 might have been better suited. Even then, even 20 minutes might have been better suited overall. Anyway, let's advance to one day. And of course, our deal with ONDEM for our events will run out. And we shall get negotiating. Goodbye, ONDEM. I'm excited. Rub my hands together. Woo-wee! Let's get into it. I've literally been looking forward to this for, what, probably 10 episodes or something like that? Alright, so there we go. Oh, APW. That's pretty cool, actually. Diale Valhalla. Because, of course, being from US Pro, he does have the popularity there in Oceania. Very cool. That's actually a really good fit for him as well, I would feel like. He's not the best performer in the world. Ooh. The death of IPW. Didn't they sign Wicked Lester? Isn't that who he's going to? Or is it someone else? Or is it PSW or something? It's IPW. What? Maybe we won't lose him after all? Ooh, but our first proper tournament. One ring to rule them all. Looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to that. But let's have a look at our IPW before we get into the negotiations. Oh, they fell to small. It said that they were in debt. Let's have a look at this company. What's going on? They're on TV. But I'm assuming... Yeah, so it looks like they're running their shows, different regions, their TV shows, but then they're selling out their pay-per-views, which is it's a very interesting strategy. Very interesting. I mean, with like low show ratings like that, no real surprise they dropped down, to be fair. Of course, Mid-South and Southwest, both below 59. I was kind of like just looking at them like we could maybe purchase them. But yeah, they've just bounced back. I guess. I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, it literally says... I mean, they fell down in 1 month. Wow. Okay, never mind. Let's, we won't look at that anymore. It did say it here, though. The death of IPW. Oh, no, it says crisis-stricken. Although, with all those contracts they've signed, it might not be too long before they actually fall into debt. Let's take a quick look through the other companies, actually. I mean, ACPW themselves have fallen pretty low. But again, they're so weird because if I show you them, their TV shows are literally just on QTV, which is only shown in Quebec. I don't understand that at all. And then again, they also, let me go to history. They like to take their shows on the road as well. Like, that was their pay-per-view. And they got 300 fans. Strange. Again, in Manitoba, TV show, 250. And hopefully they keep doing it, to be fair. I'll buy them out. And we'll get a Americana back. And, yeah, potentially, I mean, we could potentially use them as a developmental as well. Could be interesting, but wouldn't say it's exactly necessary. Anyway, Black Maple are essentially level on finance. I know I gave them the money, but almost level on finances. DSW, 2.4 million in debt. I mean, do I even want to buy them? I don't think I do. I don't think I want to pay that debt. No, thank you. So Kingdom, I mean, I don't really like that company. Based in the west of Australia. L-Ring, I mean, that's Hawaii. What's their size, though? 18? I mean, if that got up a little bit higher, might actually be a decent shout just to get, because we can gain their popularity. Like, we can essentially absorb it by purchasing them, so could be interesting. Everyone else seems pretty good. Yeah. Nothing else to worry about. All right, let's get into this broadcasting. So we made just under 800,000 last month, which is pretty much the same as the previous month. Although, as you can see, both the show costs and the workers have gone up. So interesting. We also spent a lot more on miscellaneous, which I don't know what exactly that was, but there we go. Because we actually got $500,000 more in ticket sales. Okie dokie. Anyway, let's check size as well. So we're actually gone up. We're up to 60 in Quebec, 58. I think we're already at 50. Or we're 57 in Manitoba. I don't know. Doesn't matter. 43 in Saskatchewan, and we're up to 36 in Alberta as well. Okay, let's do it. Broadcasting. View all broadcasters. Now, we do need to upgrade. So there is Canada One choice. Now, we need to upgrade our music levels to licensed. So let's do that. Production. Music levels. Ooh, we got 2 levels to go up. That's expensive as well. A fee of $2,000 and then $25,000 per month. And we have to go up to license as well, which is $5 grand up front, 50,000 per month. We better be making a lot of money from this pay-per-view carrier. Let me just say that. All right, there we go. They will negotiate. Oh, this is exciting. How long do we want to go for? That's an interesting question. I think only 1 year. I mean, a year's a long time. We'll see what happens. I mean, we want to try and get prime time. Okay, we won't get prime time then. CWA Championship Wrestling. We will be going head to head. Of course, you can't do that on the same broadcaster. They're not even willing to offer us. Oh, because yeah, TCW Rumble Rock. Are they on a pay-per-view carrier? Yeah, interesting. They're not even willing to offer us late evening. I mean, they're willing to offer us that. And we're also going head-to-head with another show, Ole Vivo. I wonder if this calculates all pay-per-view broadcasters. I think it does. Interesting. They won't give us early evening there either. They'll give us afternoon. So it's either afternoon or late night. I think late night's probably the better option, even though we will be going up against Ole Vivo. I think Vivo is their B show anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. I hope it's their B show. Anyway, let's try and get the best revenue split. We can only get 30%. That's brutal. I mean, 30% it is. Oh wait, hold on. What's going on? Wait, what? What is happening right now? Hold on, let me go back for a second. Ah. I did it for the TV show, like an idiot. Okay, never mind. Alright, so they're not willing to offer prime time. Still only late night. Okay, now it makes a little bit more sense. Alright, so once again, only one we can get is late night, essentially. Hopefully this will be better. No, it's still going to be 30%. They're playing hardball. They really are playing hardball. Anyway, here we go. 1 year contract for Canada One Choice. Late night with 30% of revenue coming to our company. It's pretty good. And as you can see, we are essentially competing with CWA on the same pay-per-view provider. Okay. There we go. Medium coverage. Go along with our sort of worldwide TV coverage. Well, TV show. It's not actually on TV. It's on a subscription service. I guess it'd be similar to Netflix in real life, although there is already a Netflix net stream, what it's called. Anyway, looking forward to the next 2 episodes to see how the debut of pay-per-view broadcasting actually goes for us, and the finances that go along with it. And of course, we've got a big debut to kick off next episode. What's going to happen? What is going to happen when Aldous Blackfriar comes in? Let me just check Mutant here as well. I want to see when he comes in. So we've got to wait 11 days. So he'll be the show after, I think. It's our second TV show of next episode. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Really want to try and upgrade our announcers and color commentators, but there is just not anything available, and it's unfortunate. Anyway, if enjoy the episode, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. It's been a pretty good one. The main event was a bit of a letdown, but overall, I think it was a really good show. We've wrapped up a couple of storylines there as well. And just I want to see what the issue is with the storyline. If you know what it is, or you think you might have an idea as to why we're getting the double penalty for storylines with heat, but it says that they're low on heat, please let me know in a comment down below. Would really appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done that, make sure you click the red button, subscribe, turn on the notifications. And apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.